All right. Hey guys. Hello, hello. Let's just wait a moment for people to join. Of course, good moment to check our sound. Is anybody there yet? People coming in? Yes. Excited for some handstands? Yes, of course. For this class, if at any point you have questions, we have our cameraman, Ferdi, and he'll tell me what you guys are asking, so I can always respond to whatever you want to know. Feel free to call out. Right, so today we are at our second day of our handstand cycle, 3-day cycle. For those of you who were joining us yesterday, we worked a lot on our shoulders, arms, hands, wrists, and maybe you feel a little bit of what we did yesterday. Today we're going to shift our focus towards the core, so really our belly, but also not just the belly, lower back, and even the glutes. We're really going to work on using all those muscles, those big muscles in the body, to help find stability once we go upside down. What you need today, a wall once again, and a mat, and that's about it. All right, let's get started. So today we're going to start seated down on the mat, so you can come down. Come onto your knees. Oh, I forgot to introduce my lovely assistant. Yes, with Basit. You can come down onto your knees and take a moment. Close your eyes. All right, we're going to just take a few deep in and exhalations. And take a moment to draw your attention in. To get comfortable on your mat, and to really sink your weight down through the sitting bones, into the heels, and onto the mat. All right. And take a moment and start to lengthen the spine. Sitting up tall. And lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And tuck your chin slightly in towards the throat. So not down to the chest, but just bringing it slightly in. Elongating the back of the neck. And deepen your in and exhalations. All right. You can keep your eyes closed. Keep your weight down in the sitting bones through the heels onto the mat. And then drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders where they are, only moving the head towards the shoulder. And allow the head to become heavy so that you feel a stretch along the left side of the neck. Good. Then we'll take our left hand, extend it up, and then reach over to the right side. And as you do this, try not to collapse too much in the waist. We don't want to hang here. Instead, we want to lift up and away, so that you feel a stretch along the left side of the body, going from the hip bone towards the shoulder, and maybe all the way up towards your hand. Good. Try and breathe into that left side of the body, expanding the left side of the rib cage as you inhale. Good. And exhale, we're going to bring the hand back up and let it come down along your side. Head comes back to center. Taking a deep inhale to lengthen the spine again. And exhale, left ear comes down to the left shoulder. Take a moment here to let the head become heavy. Really finding that stretch for the side of the neck. Good. And then bring that right arm up. And extend over to the left side. Good. Really reaching towards the left, reaching up and to the left, finding that stretch along the side of your body, right side of the body. Breathe into that right side, expanding through the right side of the rib cage. Good, and exhale, let the arm come back up and beside your body, head to center. All right, now slowly open your eyes, get accustomed to the light. All right, good. Now let's move our upper body in another direction, interlacing the hands behind your back, fingers crossed, and if you want, you can slightly bend your elbows. Start to lift your chest up, roll the shoulders back. Good. And press the chest further up. So you really want that chest bone, that hard plate here, to lift and come forward. And if you like, you can lift your head up here as well, or maybe even pull your arms slightly back so that you feel a stretch between the shoulder blades, but also you feel a stretch along the front of the body for the chest, for the chest muscles, and maybe even for the upper arms. Good. Keep breathing. Inhale, lift the chest a little higher. Good. And exhale, we'll release. You can let go of the hands. All right, and find some movement that feels good for you. So maybe you notice a little bit of tightness as we were moving in the shoulders, especially if you joined the first day for our handstand cycle. Could be that you're a little sore between the shoulder blades, a little sore in the arms. All right. From here, we're gonna start and dive into our core straight away. So we're gonna place our hands down on the mat in front of us, spread the fingers wide, and then start to press the fingertips down into the mat. And just wait until they turn slightly white. Good. Now keep that pressure in the fingertips and lean slightly forward. Good. You're gonna see how that feels for the wrist. Now start to press the top of your feet down into the mat. Good. Staying here, keep breathing. And without lifting knees, start to imagine that you would lift your knees up into your chest. Good. If you're doing this right, you feel the muscles in the belly activate. You feel a little pull right behind the belly button. Good. We'll stay here for one more inhale. And one more exhale. Good. Coming back down. Release the hands. Give your hands a little shake. So that one was relatively easy. We're going to make this a little harder as we move on. And every time in between, you can make whatever movements feel nice for the wrist. Feel free to throw in some stretches. Just do whatever you need to kind of reset the body. All right. Okay, moving on to the second one. And now we are actually going to lift our knees up. So starting the same way, pressing the fingertips into the floor until they turn slightly white, and leaning forward, press the top of the feet down, and then lift the knees up into your chest. Good. Now try and pull the knees up to the chest as much as you can. And if the top of your feet hurt, try to press the top of the feet a little less. Focus on pulling the knees up towards the belly. Good. Keep pressing the floor away, activating the arms, activating the shoulders. Good. Staying for one more inhale. And one more exhale. Good. Release and relax. All right. Take a moment to yourself. Good. Now, if this was really hard for you, I'm going to give a small pointer that might help you for the next. So I'll show you from this side. I hope that's the most clear for you guys. So once you are lifting, if you look at my shoulders, I could either be kind of hanging in the shoulders, which makes the distance between my shoulder and my ear very small, and it kind of makes it hard for me to lift my knees further away from the floor because I don't have much space. What you want to do here is you want to press the hands into the mat and then activate in the shoulders, kind of lift the shoulder blades away from one another. And like this, the shoulders are really far away from my ears. And I'm getting a lot more activation through the upper back, which is going to help me to get the legs up. So it's here that the core and the shoulders are working together to get your legs lifting. All right, having said that, we're going to move into the next one. Now, if you want, you can try here to lift your feet up as well. So lifting the knees and the feet up as we go. All right, fingers spread wide, tips into the floor, leaning forward, lifting the knees up, and lift the feet up as well. They don't have to go high. Just see if you can lift up. Good, keep breathing. All right, good, and let go. Coming down. Give the wrists a little shake. Good, and if you were lifting up, you might notice that it becomes a lot more intense for your wrists. That's because our shoulders move quite far forward. You get a lot of pressure in the wrists. Totally normal. Just give the wrists a little bit of extra attention right now and let them relax. Let them find softness again. All right, good. Okay, so much for that. We're going to cross our ankles and come to sitting. Bending the knees, and then slowly we're going to roll ourselves down. Taking our time, slowly, slowly. See if you can go down one vertebrae at a time. And come all the way onto the mat. All right, I'll turn a little bit so you guys can see more easily. So as I'm lying here, stretch my arms over my head. And for some of you, you might have this space between the lower back and the mat. Especially if you have a little bit more muscle in your booty, your back will be lifting off the floor. Now for everyone, we're gonna first practice pressing the lower back into the mat. So even if it's already touching the mat, you're gonna activate the muscles in the belly and really press your lower back down into the floor. Good, now see if you can press it down as hard as you can. Good, keep pressing. And at the same time, try and pull your belly button slightly in and up towards your heart. So it's almost like we're creating a vacuum in the belly, pressing down and then lifting up towards the heart. Good. Keep doing this, and you want to use your muscles to full power. So you really want to feel the muscles in the belly work. Good. Keep doing it. Keep pressing the lower back down. All right, and release. Okay, good. Now, if you want, you could step your feet slightly further away. That's going to create more space between your back and the floor. And now we're going to go through a few rounds of pressing the back down. So on our exhale, we're going to round the spine, press the lower back down. Press it down really hard. And inhale, release. Exhale, press it down really hard. I know it looks a little silly, but it's a really good exercise. And release. Okay, press it down. If this is too easy for you, you could step the feet a little further away. That's going to make it harder. Release. Press it down. You could even extend the legs all the way. That's going to make it really hard. Release. Press it down. Release. Press it down. Release. All right, last one, pressing it down. Keep your lower back down. Keep pressing. Think of the belly button that you're sucking up towards the heart. And release, good. All right, now hug the knees to your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. You can make yourself into a small little ball. Good. Relax, release. All right. Now this movement that we were making of scooping the hips, pressing the lower back down towards the floor, we're gonna use that muscle group a lot. So we're gonna focus on that now on our next couple of exercises. Okay, good. So hands come behind the head. You can support your head if you want. And on our next inhale, we're gonna extend the right leg and turn the left elbow over to the right elbow over to the left knee. Good. All right, exhale back to center. And inhale over to the other side. See if you can keep your shoulders off the mat. Back to center and over to the other side. See if you can tap your knee with your elbow. To center, hug the knees in, over to the other side. Good. We're gonna make this a little harder. As you extend on the exhale, try and extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. Good. Now switch both legs up and over to the other side. Both legs up. Okay, I should have coordinated that better. If it's hard for you to keep both legs straight, just keep them bent. But if you can, on the straight leg, let the right leg come down, point away, and the right elbow over to the left knee. Good. Inhale, both legs to center. And exhale, left elbow over to the right knee, left leg away. Good. Back to center. Exhale, over to the other side. Back to center. And one more time. Over to the right side. Back to center. Keep your head lifted. Keep your legs lifted. Point the feet up towards the ceiling. Good. Stay there. Lift your shoulders a little higher. Lift your head a little higher. Good. Keeping the belly active and pressing the lower back down to the floor. Now we're staying here, and we're going to focus on bringing that belly button up towards the heart. So pulled in, pulled up to the heart, and again, try and create that vacuum. Good. Keep your head lifted. Keep the shoulders lifted. All right, and we're going to make it a little harder. Now you can extend your arms up towards the ceiling. So we're like a dead bug here. Keeping our shoulders lifted and pressing the lower back down. Okay, now we're gonna drop our right leg and the left arm down toward the floor. So extending over the head, away from one another. Inhale, back to center, lifting both arms, both legs. Exhale, other side, left leg, right arm. Good, back to center. And continue to do this in your own pace, following your own breath. And as you do this, continue to focus on keeping that lower back down on the floor. So that's the most important thing. You might feel as your arm and your leg drop down that it becomes a lot harder for the core to keep the lower back down on the floor. Good, keep moving. We'll do one more. Last one. All right, back to center. Hands behind your head and release. Good. Now, if you want, you can hug your knees into your chest or let them come down. Just do something to release. All right, so this might seem quite easy, but you feel as you do more and more reps of these that it becomes really intense for the core muscles, and that's what we want to do. We want to activate those core muscles a lot as we do this. All right, are you good? We're good. We're going to go into another round. So again, hands behind your head. Lift your head up high. Good. Lift your knees up and extend your feet up if you can. Keeping the knees bent is also an option. Good. Now stay here and try and lift your hips a little higher. Really pressing the lower back into the floor. Good. Exhale, we'll release the hips back down onto the floor. You can relax your head down onto the floor. So what we're going to do now, every inhale, we'll lift our hips up and we'll lift our shoulders up at the same time. So it's almost like we're rounding the back. So here I can place my hands under my hips, and on the exhale, we'll lower the hips back down and come all the way back down. Does that make sense? Okay, inhale, lifting the head up, lifting the hips up. Exhale, come down, head down. Inhale, lift up, lift the hips up. Exhale, come down, elbows down. Inhale, up. Good. Exhale, down, and just continue to move like this. And every time you lift up, you press your lower back into the floor. Try and remember to tuck that belly button in and pull it up towards the heart. Most of the time, as we get really, really active in the core, the belly muscles tend to come out a little bit. See if you can counter that movement by remembering to pull the belly button in and up towards the heart, trying to maintain that vacuum that we have in the belly. Okay, good. We'll do one more. Releasing down. And bend your knees. Good. Release. Relax. Can create some soft movements. All right. Now we'll just do one more. And then we'll be done on the floor with our core exercises. Okay, so next one. We're going to start by lifting our head up, lifting the shoulders up. Then we'll extend the legs. Here you can let the arms point forward, or if you want to make it harder, you point them overhead. But forward is fine. We're going to come into a low boat, and then using the inhale to come to a high boat. Exhale, low boat. Okay? Inhale, high boat. So we'll do a few of those. I'm going to move away from the edge of my mat, and I'll join you guys, okay? So we'll start by tucking the legs in, lift the head up, press the lower back into the mat, then release the arms, point them forward, release the legs, point them forward. Good. And on our inhale, we're going to come up into a high boat. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Good. Continue to move like this. And if it's really easy for you, just make sure you move a little slower, as if you're moving through like honey or something. Moving through thick air. And just really try and slow the body down as it goes up and down. Good. We'll do two more. Coming down and up. One more, down and up. Good. Hold it. Elongate the spine. Feel the muscles burn in the legs, in the core. All right, and release. All right. Okay, since we only have 30 minutes, we really need to build up that heat really fast so that we can get the right activation of the muscles as we move towards the wall and go upside down. All right, so just a short moment for you guys to do whatever movements feel good. And in a moment, we're going to move towards our wall. All right? So I'm just going to stretch out the wrists a bit. Okay, good. And we'll get ready. We'll get up and come over to the wall. Now, first thing we're going to do, when we were practicing on the floor, we were working on activating the core. Remember that awkward little exercise we did? Kind of tilting the hips, tucking the belly in, and flattening out the back. So this is the same kind of thing we're going to do against the wall. So with my arms up, I'm going to try and create a super straight line. So what we want to avoid is something like this, kind of a hollow back, something of a banana shape. And instead, we're going to use all that muscle in the core, in the belly, to get us here, okay? Now, first thing we're going to do is practice our handstand with our face against the wall. So instead of me flipping my legs up like this, I'm going to turn my back towards the wall, place my hands down, and bring my legs up on the wall, and then slowly you're going to walk your hands towards the wall. So they don't need to be super, super close, but they don't. You don't want them to be too far either, because then it's going to be hard to keep your balance. Now, once you are close enough to the wall, you're going to focus on squeezing the belly button up towards the heart and try and find that flat line again, that straight line. Okay? So my bum is really active. I'm squeezing my bum. I'm squeezing my legs together. I'm tucking my belly in.
I'm flattening out the lower back. I'm gonna try and keep my shape for a moment. Okay, slowly coming out in your own way. Good. We'll do that again in a moment. Now I want you to play around a little bit. Once you are there, what you can do is, instead of looking up towards your hands, see if you can tuck your chin towards your chest. Now what that's going to do, I'll try and exaggerate a bit. Once I look up, you tend to arch slightly in the shoulders or in the spine for your neck to be able to make that angle. Once you bring it down, it's going to be even easier for you to get that super straight, nice line. Now this is really hard without a wall, but we are using a wall, so it's totally fine to do it. I'm going to let Basit demonstrate against that wall. Placing the hands down, walk the feet up, hands come close. Now make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are spread wide, touching or pressing down to the mat really hard. And look at his beautiful straight line that he's making. He's really using the core to tilt the hips, flatten out the lower back. He's squeezing his legs together. Maybe he could even point his toes. That way he's even flatter. And now with the chin in, you can see that the spine is really super flat, super nice and straight. Very good. See if maybe you can stay here for 2 more breaths. Maybe press out through the arms a bit more. Create space between the shoulders and the ear. Very good. All right, and then slowly work your way back out. All right, very good. And catch your breath. Good. Okay. Quite intense. Now, of course, going into a handstand with your back against the wall, you could also work on that straight line. But with the wall behind you, it's going to be very natural for you to arch like this. So it makes it a lot harder for you to find that straight line. But what we can practice or work on, knowing that we don't have a straight line, is once you go up to the wall and you have your banana shape, you're gonna focus, instead of kind of just hanging out here and see how long you can stay, instead you're gonna focus on pulling your heels off the wall without kind of kicking the legs off the wall. So I'm gonna try and use my core as much as I can. Try to get the legs off. Try. Very good. Keep trying. And release. So as I do this, nothing much is happening except for the activation in the core. Because I'm really far away, it's going to be super hard to lift the legs up. But working in that area, that's going to get you to have the feet lift off. That's all the work we want to do right now, okay? So you can come up to the wall and use your own way to get into a handstand. You could kick one leg up, kick both legs up, ask one of your housemates to help you get up. And then once you are close to the wall, feet up, you're going to stay there and focus again on trying to find this shape. Even though that's not possible, we're going to try and get there. Squeezing the belly in, pull the belly button to the heart, and then try and squeeze the legs together until the feet lift off. Very good. So maybe some of you are lifting off the wall. That's very good. Then try again, walking the hands slightly further away from the wall until you feel like it's really no longer possible. You just feel that activation. Very good. He's going for it. All right. Now try and stay here. Maybe tuck your chin to your chest. See how that goes. Maybe that changes the whole dynamic. See how it feels. Very good. Focus on using the muscles in the core to pull the feet off the wall. Try and not rely on kicking the feet off the wall, even if you're doing it softly. Good. Very good. All right. And we're going to come out of it. Okay, good. Take a moment. Maybe roll the shoulders. Are we still okay there? Is everybody doing well? Okay, now, if you, maybe, yes. So if you don't have your
handstand yet, and you're afraid of working on this without a wall, something you could really do to work on this straight line, that same shape, is not do it in a handstand, but maybe do it in a headstand, if that's something you are comfortable with doing. Because it's the same kind of principle when we go into a handstand. Either you could end up going to a banana shape, but you could also make it super active and totally tuck in the belly, squeeze the legs together, and find that straight line. So for those of you who want to try, you could either try doing it in a handstand if you're comfortable, or you can come down onto your knees and we're going to try it in a headstand. Please only do this if you are comfortable with your headstand, because otherwise it's not going to be pretty, I'm afraid. So we'll take one more moment to go either into a handstand, and I'll demonstrate a headstand maybe so that people get a sense of the difference between the two, okay? So I'm going up into my regular headstand, just how I'm used to doing it. And what we want to avoid is something like this. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get what I mean. And we want to go towards this. So we want to really, really, really pull the belly in, squeeze the legs together, and create a really nice straight line for the front of my body, kind of. All right? Once you are here, think about really extending the feet up towards the ceiling, pressing the arms into the mat, and remember to squeeze that belly button in, squeeze the legs together, and of course, keep breathing. All right, we'll stay for last breath. Good, and coming down. All right, good. Yeah, I'm not sure how we are on time, but we're done. I want to wish you guys a lovely rest of your day. I hope you guys benefited from this little exercise that we did. You can join us for the next part of our cycle, which is going to be flowing or jumping into a handstand. Yeah, and other than that, guys, stay healthy, stay grounded. Thank you so much. All right.